that I don't think that would be the best option there. Malzahar will be the lock-in at the end for Grace.
Ultra standard stuff.
Yep.
Good laning matchup as well. SKT. A lot of different options. They're going to go for the Sivir that we've seen a little bit of. Probably going to be Unsealed Spellbook on the Sivir to go for that pressure attempt. Does mean that in a tough matchup, this is self-counterpick because Caitlyn is very, very strong against Shyvana in lane because of the sheer range difference. But hey, you get the Unsealed Spellbook, you go back to lane, you teleport back in, the Sivir versus Caitlyn, I should say, and you just try and get through what is a tough lane phase. So to self-counterpick yourself as Sivir versus Caitlyn is certainly a risk, but Bang knows what he's getting himself into. Early lane phase is not going to be great, but just trying to navigate it. And team fight-wise, the Sivir ultimate goes great with what SKT have already selected.
Oh yeah, I mean, getting on top of the enemy is going to be very easy for them, up with the Realm Warp and the charge there from the Sivir ultimate. So plenty of ways to go ahead and close the gaps there onto the members of Jin Air. So Bang yet again going back to that Sivir. Saw him just play it a couple days ago to pretty good success. So got them that match victory. SKT, again though, you want this to be as clean as humanly possible going into the telecom war to really make KT panic.
And I think this is the matchup that will influence how clean or unclean that is. I liked Umti and his creative pathing on Fleet Footwork Sejuani. And Wolf, we've only seen a single Sejuani game. So Jarvan is different, his lanes are set up for ganks, but both teams know the strength early, the strength as it develops. The pathing for Wolf will be the thing we look at. It's going to be very fun to see. Only his second game ever as a professional jungler.
All right, well, let's see if Lightning can strike twice, and if they have success with it here, with him on this J4, Jin Air going to be looking to take down SKT. Tall order ahead of him. Let's see if they can pull it off as we jump onto the Rift for game one. Of course, SKT fans going to be loud, going to be vocal as they show up here at the studio on a Saturday night to cheer on their favorite team.
Where better place could you be, OGN Legion, than joining us for another SK Telecom game? One match win already. Want to get this one a bit cleaner. The 2-1 was a bit too extended for them against the Rocks Tigers. We'll see if they can definitely level up again. All these teams, you know, have a long year ahead of them. SKT expected to play international tournaments. So starting slow is not too surprising. The only man here who definitely didn't start slow was Faker, who was popping off every game.
Yeah. Trying to get those kills in. And something else that we have to track, though, is going to be Score getting closer and closer to that 500 game mark. I believe he's only a few away now. He's played 5 games.
I spy with my little eye one of those series that happened during SKT's epic losing streak.
Yes.
One of the many teams that were able to 2-0 SKT in the second round robin of Summer. So there's going to be some mini storylines like payback for SKT to deal with in this particular first round robin.
So Sohan took Smite at the start of this. Interesting.
So that's something that we saw from Flandre when he was playing red side on Vladimir. If you're going Unsealed Spellbook, you can take Smite and give basically a super leash, so we didn't have it on screen, so we didn't even bother to look to see if it was Ignite, but Smite does help with lane control. It's a bit of a nerfed version of the minion dematerializer in lane, but at level 1, it opens up jungling options, so now Umti gets a power leash topside, which is not something you usually see. Basically, what happens is Sohan tanks at the start, bellows breath into a bit of damage, smites as he leaves to get his health back. That's about the best leash you could ever ask for as a jungler.
Well, not bad. Help fast track Umti here. He's got the Sejuani, so getting up into the face of Wolf on an invade is not going to be the easiest thing.
Confirmation that he has gone once again into Fleet Footwork for ability to go into Precision Tree and get 18% attack speed for the faster clear, especially on the single target camps, but also all the bursts of movement speed to guarantee getting in the best position for both the autos, the ganks, and the stickiness. So it is a very obvious or a very big option. A lot of junglers here have preferred Aftershock just for the guaranteed tankiness, but Sejuani has a passive, so more about being proactive pre-6, I think, the Fleet Footwork.
Faker here, playing up into the face of Grace, has been commanding the CS in this lane thus far.
That's a ward, but does not spot Umti just yet.
Seems like Umti just going to be rotating down towards this bottom side of the river.
He'll be trying to do a raise and come over the Scuttle Crab for a gank, but he's not Jarvan, so the gank success on the Sejuani, not going to be quite the same thing.
Uses the scrying plan, so Faker knows just about where Umti's at. And can play around that accordingly. So another nice trade there in onto Grace, chunking him down steadily while maintaining the CS lead.
Yeah, Grace has been using his Malefic Visions just for lane harass rather than pushing with it, so the wave control has been there for Faker, and it does mean that Grace is going to fall dangerously low on mana. Notice that he did not go for the Spell Thief's Edge that Faker and a lot of mid laners have been preferring, went for the Doran's Ring. He's not going to be rushing into the Twin Shadows.
A bit of a change there. Altering in that build path. Several stopwatches here in the game, as we can see on our screens. Waiting for those to become available. 3 on the side of SK Telecom.
Summoner spells are kind of the new norm. Do see Unsealed Spellbook on the Sivir, like I mentioned. Just pushing up toward the walls, just to give a bit more information on the pathing here.
Stole away that blast cone.
He did.
It's worth so much gold.
He's just shadowing Wolf.
Wolf's just getting rid of all of his plants.
Rude.
Shattering those where he can. Just destroying his garden.
He's battle warding in many ways. Hasn't looked for a lane gank at all. Umti's in vision here, so he's still going to kill his Gromp, but Wolf considering those options. A little bit more happy feeding than we see normally from junglers. He hasn't interacted with a camp in a good minute now.
He's just kind of, you know, drifting along with the wind, wherever it takes him. It's a free spirit.
I like how we just locked camera on Wolf. We're like, what's a day in the life of Jungle Wolf like? Hey!
Okay, there we go.
No smite available for Umti.
Uses the Dragon Strike.
I'm actually watching the creep score to see who gets it. Oh! It was Wolf.
Oh, man. Now we got a bit of a battle. The freeze comes down onto Wolf. Grace coming in. Doesn't have that level 6 yet, and Faker's nearby. Grace is going to flash over the wall for this one. Flag and drag, taking Wolf out to safety. Malefic Vision's ticking away, and well, he'll get out of there. Doesn't have to use his own flash, and Grace's will be down.
Don't often see the aggressive flash as Malzahar pre-6, but Grace really wanted to get some tempo for the team with First Blood. Definitely some youthful exuberance there, Achilleos.
Yeah, absolutely. Stun into the wall here from Mintara as he's hit that level 6 spot. Just trying to harass Sohan as much as possible, trying to force that back. Faker gonna miss the big raptor there.
Now Grace going to be very, very gankable. Hasn't had really any lane control to speak of against Faker, which probably isn't a new story in and of itself, but with the flash down now, it's going to be even more tricky for him.
At least hasn't let the CS discrepancy grow much. Right now, going to be down by 13 CSs. Faker can sort of pick these up.
So the reason we haven't seen much Sivir in the past is her laning phase. This is the sort of matchup exactly where, without the new runes, you would never consider Sivir into Caitlyn, as Sivir's actually taking some really good trades.
Really short hop there for Rain.
Reason for that's pretty apparent for anyone who's played the matchup from the Sivir side. You take 2 autos for every auto you're able to put on the enemy, so you lose basically every standing damage trade. But Unsealed Spellbook and the flexibility to take teleport as early as 2 minutes into the game when you get your first shard, or thereafter, means that you get extra shops in over to Caitlyn, get back to full health, get a refillable pot, buy some attack damage, and actually can just kind of shove and then teleport back in whenever necessary, and you can go back to heal later. So that flexibility has brought it in as EQ's down for Wolf.
Wolf going aggressive here. Flash down for Grace as he tries to get in. This is going to be the Ornor coming through. Stopwatch there to help keep Wolf alive here for the moment, but I think he bit off more than he could chew. Flashes aside, he misses the Dragon Strike in onto the flag, but he somehow still has not died. One more auto attack from Umti will finish off. In the meantime, Grace here gets another grasp down onto Faker as he starts kiting his way back. Jukes out on the silence. Umti nearby, throws out the ultimate. Faker jumps just to the other side of it with the flash and will keep himself alive. But now Umti going to be looking to take away this red buff. And suddenly Jin Air, First Blood on the board.
And this is why it was a tricky assignment for Wolf starting against Jin Air, because Umti is a crafty jungler. He has an aggressive mindset. We knew the moment he locked in Sejuani, he was going to take fleet footwork, and he does not necessarily over-respect enemies. He definitely looks at Wolf and says, this guy may have played 535 competitive games, but he hasn't played 535 at jungle. His ability to jump in there, to test his limits, it's a tricky assignment. It's not a farming jungler for Wolf to deal with. It's one that wants to carry.
Yeah. Well, bit of a miss up there by Wolf. We saw this at the beginning of the last game, where he went too aggressively, went over the wall, chasing in the Azir, trying to get the kill, didn't do it, gave up the kill in the end. But they were able to turn things around from there. So maybe that's just kind of the jitters that he has to shake off at the beginning of each match.
We give him one. Usually that's per career, but we're going to give him one per game because, you know, he's
at least
jungling for SK Telecom. Give him a chance.
At least for the first couple of weeks, we have to give him the benefit of the doubt there.
Won't get a replay on the queue to see if it was comically wide, but I was surprised it didn't go through, so I'll give Wolf that.
Didn't quite catch exactly where it landed, just that it did not connect with the flag. Well, unfortunate. Otherwise, very well could have gotten out of there. Farming's just going to continue. Despite the first blood going over to the Jin Air, it's still going to be very even as far as the gold is concerned. Mostly due to Faker here in the mid lane, who still has that commanding lead, now growing it up to about 20 CS over Grace.
And Wolf still has a situation where Untara is deeply pushing in top side. Sivir, with all her abilities to teleport back, has lane control over Caitlyn, at least early, so far at least from what we've seen on the map.
Yep.
So it's a sort of game where Wolf has license to invade, but after dying, his flash is down, and just kind of losing the last tete-a-tete with the enemy jungler, he's going to be a bit more passive. So right now he's not able to capitalize on where the lanes are, which means that the pushing is kind of irrelevant as a factor right now.
See, at the moment, just hovering around the mid lane here, going to be picking up that Scuttle Crab yet again. Cloud Drake to start us off. 10 minutes in, no surprise that we haven't really seen anyone look twice at it. Likely just going to be sitting there for a pretty decent amount of time. 16, 18 minutes is kind of the range that we're seeing the lesser Drakes being taken.
Faker clearly watched EU LCS last night with Perks trying to set CS records, and he's well on the way to his own. 108 CS already.
He's pretty, yeah, it's keeping it on pace there.
There's 3 boots as well. So yeah, the early game, I guess, complete, short of one gaff from Wolf. It's been pretty elementary. It's your bot side, but he is spotted by a ward from SKT.
Actually, here we go. Earlier than I anticipated will be this dragon. Started up, and that's 45 seconds. Teddy and Wraith joining in. Try to stop this one. Wolf is in the vicinity. Does he want to go in for the steal? It's going to be no. Surrounded by 4 members there. Bert goes in, gets the slow flashes away from the ultimate. Seems like they're just going to go ahead and cruise their way back into the lane.
Yeah, but last time Kench game was pretty focused down as Faker.
Oh, yeah, just going to go ahead and get the root. Misses out on that last Q, though. Just a bit of damage in, but really could have threatened Grace. Maybe gotten the flash out had he connected with that last one.
No free minions with Faker. Zoning pretty extensively. No Sejuani's bot side. He's not respecting that. Will also hug the top side of the map when necessary.
Gonna be a decent trade here onto Effort as they get the stun with the concussive blows. Bang trying to trade back, but doesn't have a heck of a lot of AD here at the moment. Or at least not the attack speed to really weave in those auto attacks. To really punish out Teddy.
Teleported back into lane to Grace. Wolf's first thought, so aggressive, but just to put a ward down.
If only he would walk up into that brush, he would see that there's a control ward sitting there.
You assume with Wolf in the team, there'll be a pretty big buff in terms of vision control early. Always been a great warder himself. Looking at the wards, 2 good control wards defensively around bot side to stop Sivir fully abusing the teleport, just pushing with Reckless Abandon. At least one question mark going to be in the head was the double control ward. Deep vision at both the enemy Wolves and Raptors does tell them a lot about where the enemy jungler is, and Wolf will actually find the confirmation of that.
Yep, there you go. Spots him out just at the end, though, so can't even try to take away even a few of those little Raptors. He's out on all of them. Meanwhile, Effort, all of his lonesome. He's going to pop the shield, and looks like he's going to be done for. Yeah, one more attack will take him down, and suddenly Jin Air 2-0 over SK Telecom.
Gonna need some context on that one.
Here. Yeah, I'm not really sure. I assume he's trying to hold the wave, but just didn't respect that Wraith and Teddy were there.
Grace is here. It's going to go for a red buff steal. I think they know Jarvan is above them. Could turn on Jarvan here. I don't know if they have enough damage to take him down. It's Cinderhulk Jarvan, so red buff and leave. No risk to that. Effort's made a couple of these, you know, newbie mistakes. Even when Ruler debuted, For Samsung, the kind of the last big hyped rookie. We're going to see a replay of this. Sivir just backed, and, well, his back was cancelled.
Okay.
So then he was dead. The small mistakes, well taken advantage of by Wraith and Teddy, who, we did hype up as a potential very promising bot lane. Didn't show too much in their debut a few days ago, but good little gamesmanship played by them there. I think the thing with Effort is it takes time to really get everything down pat. What I was trying to say was that when he debuted Ruler, he had the kind of depressing stat of having the most solo deaths of any AD carry by a lot. He just would always stay for that extra minion wave, and I think that's what happened there, right? Effort could have gone for a safer back. He was like, let's min-max him back in the middle of the lane. He's taken out. Another advantage to Jin Air.
Well, hovering around mid here, but Faker has got the wave pushing up towards that turret, so getting a dive in on a Grace is going to be a pretty difficult task to pull off, so it seems like he's just shadowing for the moment to see if Umti shows up. In the meantime, Umti, he's just got the run of the map. He's just taking out that Rift Herald solo. There you go, finishes it off, and suddenly Jin Air picking up that first turret gold is pretty realistic.
It's been really, really fun to watch Umti's pathing this game, because every time SKT think they're suckering the enemy into something, like the Rise overextending and Jarvan ready to go, it's clear that Umti's like, I'm just over here, like I know exactly what they're thinking about, no risk to this play, I'm going to get an extra buff. Now Wolf and Faker invade, but 2 control wards and also defensive vision here.
We'll be trying to take away this red buff. Umti coming over the wall, Effort and Bang here to back him up. Chasing in. He's got the Malefic Vision taken away. Nethergrass going to be thrown down there in onto Wolf, but Faker is just unloading onto Grace. Almost gets the kill. One more hit would do it, but he just can't quite line it up. Charge coming through. Faker going to go ahead. Pop the stopwatch into the Realm Warp, takes himself out to safety, but in the meantime, Bang just gets absolutely annihilated by Teddy. 4-0, Jin Air starting to run away with this game a bit.
Such great map movement from Jin Air, knowing that Umti could contest there. I thought for sure he'd pull out, but because they had the team in the right position, Malzahar unloads and Umti's there for the body block to stop Faker from picking up the kill. Everything working out for Jin Air across the map, even with Untara having a happy laning phase against Sowa.
A happy laning phase, but he's got the Black Cleaver and still hasn't even taken that much of a significant lead as far as the CS is concerned here against that Ornn. So Sowan has been holding his own well enough, has the assist under his belt at the moment, and that's going to help nullify the slight gold lead that Untara would have. Now, that first turret gold going over to Jin Air, putting them further ahead in this game. 3,000 gold in the lead, and even a bit of damage in onto that tier 2 as the Rift Herald still got a charge off.
Umti's been a star so far this game. He has really used his experience. This is Umti playing with confidence, not like the losing streak he was in at the end of spring season or even during summer season. When he became a starter, when this guy gets a couple of good performances behind him, not necessarily team performances, but he feels good about his own play, his good play in solo queue, he can really take the next step, and he's outclassing Wolf here, which is not a huge thing to say, but it's had a huge impact on this particular game.
SKT gonna have to look to turn this around somehow here. Right now, pretty much the only person that's been having a decent enough time of it all is gonna be Faker, who's 30 CS up out of the mid lane at the moment.
Imagine having Faker on your team where you can always assume that you'll have at least one person ahead of the curve with little resources making great play. It's such a thing to assume, but because it's SKT, because it's Faker, you can always assume he's going to have a game like this.
I wish I had that assuredness every time I played solo queue, Papa Smith. It'd be great if I knew that there was just one person I could rely on.
They're allowing duo and challenger. Just qualify for challenger.
There we go. Perfect.
I know it's a small jump from where you're currently at.
I think I'll just probably have to duo my way up to challenger then. So I'll have to get in touch with Joel one of these nights when we're both sitting at home not working and start the grind. We'll see. Maybe if I put Joel on my stream, I'll get viewers.
That's the hope. No pimping out the stream on our stream, though, Achilles.
I'm not giving the link. Just referencing that one exists.
Okay.
And also, it was mostly to praise Joel.
ARAM has ended as we see Wolf EQ into Umti, but not going to stick any damage.
Dark going for the transformation here. They jump in onto Effort. He's going to go big. Cataclysm comes down. Hasn't really been able to pin anybody with the ultimate yet. Hasn't gotten in position. But the Forge God not really going to be getting anything either. Can't get that bounce back. Faker trades a little bit of damage there onto the Sejuani, but that's about it. No one really going super low at the moment.
Grace wasn't there. By the time he showed up, Faker had used his QSS, but no ability to turn. Malzahar here patrolling.
Over now onto the Infernal Drake. Gonna finish this one off down to about 2,000 HP. Wolf, is he gonna go into the steal? No. Gonna short it, can't get it in time, and that's gonna be the confirmation there. Going through for Jin Air. Nethergrass thrown down in onto Everest. They try to finish him off. Great health shield will get popped, and it's not gonna be enough to keep him alive, but now SKT are gonna be looking to turn things around. Utara, he gets the transformation, double pin into the wall, a double kill for him as he rips him apart. A triple kill at the end. Faker finishes off Grace. will be limping his way out of the fight, and just like that, SKT nearly tie the board for kills and bring back a heck of a lot of gold.
Yeah, big team fight for SKT, but even bigger one for finally getting a little bit of a highlight clip himself. We're going to see the replay. Early take on the Inferno, so Jin so far feeling good. They turn onto effort. They actually burn him through the Grey Health, but there's no ability to back off. During all of this good news, Untara had been building up his Narbar, flashes in, Killer Instinct is well observed. They clean up 3 members further. They get 4 on the table. They take the mid lane outer turret. Big shift in momentum to SKT.
Yeah, beautifully played, and just like that, just 300 gold separates the squads. Jin does have that maybe potential late game win condition going with the Dragons right now. 2 stacks, 1 Infernal, 1 Cloud, with another Infernal on the way. But if SKT can take that away, and that's pretty much going to nullify it. So right back in onto the path of victory, potentially for SK Telecom T1 after that massive, massive fight. So props to Untara, who's been relatively uninvolved for the longest time here in this game. Suddenly comes out with a triple kill, 3-0-0 there on that Gnar.
Best players take their moments, and Untara still developing that sort of a reputation. Double control war, that's never a good feeling for the side of Jin and it's one of those moments where now suddenly the CS leads in top lane and mid lane are relevant because they were able to pick up those kills. Suddenly the gold lead
just surges forward.
It's only 500 for Jin after all their hard work in the early game to get advantages. To kills worth basically no more, no less.
I mean, it went from 3,000 to just 500, as you said. So that shrunk down very, very quickly.
And now it's just the strength of a team fight. Suddenly it's all equal here. We get into the next fight. The map control has gone the way of SKT. Jin can find a way to wrestle it back. Again, it was all good news. It was all Jin until that one fight.
Well, Jin looking for the push here onto the mid lane. Quite a bit of damage going through there onto Bang. It does get popped up, but now Wolf comes in from the sideline, throws down the Cataclysm in onto Teddy, but they're actually trying to turn this one around. Beautiful Devour there from Effort, saving Wolf from that stun from the Sejuani ultimate. And now Faker looking to go aggressive here against Grace. Has that Ghost pop, threatens him back. Might just be able to settle here for the turret, but now the wave clear there from Grace. Goes ahead, gets rid of those minions.
No threat from Faker for the QSS here.
Charges his way up.
He's already got the QSS completed, so there's no real ability to layer. Probably just going to push here for
Doesn't have his flash. Wolf coming in from the side, goes in, gets the flag and drag for the pop-up, but they don't really want to pursue any deeper than that.
Just back away. Faker able to, even under turret, get autos in, harass because of the QSS he picked up earlier. Being a nuisance in a side lane has always been the Faker way.
Gotta say, though, that Devour from Effort was perfect.
Super well timed. The ult had registered onto his teammate and just devoured him. Any earlier, and he would have been stunned in place himself.
Yeah, I was gonna say that was the most impressive thing, was he got the Devour and didn't get hit by the ultimate himself. Was just perfectly positioned for it. So really solid stuff as SKT looks to get themselves back in here, 1-1 as far as the turrets are concerned.
So SKT's game plan here, and I think we have to talk about it again because this comp they've drafted is what is considered by Koreans the 8.1 super draft, Ryze and Gnar, is the fact that you have very strong side lanes. You know, the ability for Ryze to play the side lane after he got his early core items and some turrets have gone down. Gnar in the winning matchup against the Ornn. But you can play the side lanes, but you also have Ryze ultimate to look for the team fight. So balancing both strong side lanes and strong team fighting is seen as the gold standard draft. It's one of the reasons that Zoe isn't picked up, is that she's more of a mid laner like Orianna rather than the ability to play the side lane like more of the Ryze flavor. They have very strong pushing as well. Winning for SKT from now is actually warding both the red and blue side of Jin and playing the side lanes, then getting free objectives, a free Baron, a free Infernal Dragon when it spawns. That's what winning looks like for SKT. That's how you play out the win conditions of this comp.
Well, given a few of those deep wards that we're seeing from SKT onto that lower half of the jungle, getting set up for that Infernal Drake that's going to be spawning in a minute and 10. It's not going to be too difficult for them. See, Antara is still just hovering on the bottom side of the map, trying to contain So On. Just keep tabs on him, and Faker has finally knocked down that top tier 2 turret.
Non-interactive objective takes. That is what SKT would prefer. They're also in a good position to fight if they get the drop on Jin Air as they try to defend their vision.
Yeah, 2 items coming through there from Bang. Has the Essence Reaver and the Static Shiv. So that damage going to start coming through for the Sivir.
Teddy's pretty monstrous. He's kind of had the run of bot lane in those early kills on effort, so...
Working on the second Zeal, yeah.
It's very close to it, too, as we can see. Over 1,100 gold sitting in the pocket.
2,100 there for Bang as well, so should have a nice purchase as he starts recalling here. Teddy trying to get the wave moving in, get some damage from the minions there onto the turret.
I'm always distracted by the size of the shields in the current overheal and relic shield meta.
I mean, it's ridiculous at times.
Everyone's a tank. Actually, the interview with Ruler, when he was asked about his preference for Varus, said the base stats, and kind of alluded to the fact that between the base stats and the percentage HP shields, you're just super tank as Varus and win the standing DPS trades. Infernal is going to be the next battle line.
Yep.
Since then, SKT actually have a gold lead, so they're in item parity. Remember, they won the last fight with an item disadvantage.
Scuttle Crab's on there from SKT. They'll see them start to push in. Antara getting ready to transform now. So Jin Air peeling back away from the fight. Could just wait for him to be exhausted.
It's definitely a waiting game. They also used the Unbreakable, but they surrendered so much vision that they could never just poke a couple of heads in and put any doubt into the mind of SKT. So like you say, they just have to give up the Drakes. So answering Infernal for SKT.
And another Cloud on the way. So it seems like that's just going to be the pattern here.
This is what map pressure looks like. This is how you play out the draft from SKT. You get the one lead, you put down the vision, you put doubt into the mind of your enemy. Well, that was just a...
He's just going to get the minions.
Exactly. That was just a CS score. Use of the Realm Warp. They're very low cooldown, of course. SKT haven't had to take a risk ever since they won the fight they felt like they were destined to. That's why for now it's kind of on Jin Air to find a way back into the game that it feels like already is slipping away from.
SKT have shifted it. Now 500 gold in their favor. Jin Air, if they can just get back onto the path that they started off on with this game, still do have a chance to take this one out. Like you said, Teddy is pretty monstrous. 3-1-0 there with the Caitlyn, 3 completed items.
So the question is how, right? It's very easy for me to say, well, just get back into it.
No, just win.
And the problem they have is that Malzahar doesn't want to side lane against Ryze. He's going to try something because Umti's here.
Gonna have some backup. The grass coming through. Faker just going to go ahead. Get himself out of that once. Find the connection there with the ultimate, and now it's just going to be opening up here in onto Umti. He's going to get devoured. His effort just goes ahead and snatches him up, spits him out, takes him out with the kill. Wolf playing around the backside, looking for an opportunity perhaps to get back in with a flag and drag, but he's low, so he's got to play this one pretty cautiously. Tara goes forward, tries to get the slow ups there onto So On, but he's still very tanky. So without the full-on pile-in from SKT, getting the kill there onto the Ornn, again, not quite possible. But now SKT getting ready to posture up around the Baron, perhaps just establish some vision. He's going to be back up in 15 seconds. And they don't quite have the damage yet to burn it down.
The irony of all of this is the point I was going to make is that Jin Air was trying to match SKT at playing 3 lanes, but their champs don't do it as well. Ryze with QSS answers Malzahar mobility, dances around as Faker is wont to do. Jin Air does pile down mid lane, so even with 4 members, they take advantage of a couple of backs from SKT. But the problem for Jin Air is, what did we say about the SKT draft? It's best at playing 3 lanes. When Jin Air try to answer them, the sort of pain that we saw earlier is likely to come again.
Jin Air is certainly keeping it interesting, so got to give him credit for that. Trying to keep things as even as seemingly possible. SKT now going to get their chance to push in, establish vision control around the Baron. But, I mean, for the most part, we're pretty tied up here, Papa Smithy. 400, 500 gold separating the teams. A Cloud Drake away from SKT from having exactly the same as Jin Air's as it's 2-2, 5-5 in kills. This is...
feels like it's cascading away from Jin Air. So the question should be, how do they get back into the game, Papa Smithy? And if that question was asked to me, I would say, what have we said they have? No, I'm going to assume it. You don't even need to say it. I'm going to say, well, we've complemented the Caitlyn. The Caitlyn's big. 3 items and a QSS. If you play around Caitlyn's lanes, if Caitlyn's mid lane pushing in and push down vision, maybe a Baron setup becomes reliable. They want more of a true 5v5 here, Jin rather than trying to play in the top side or the bot side. So the ability to play around the power they have, the one place of power, which to me truly is the Caitlyn. Oh. Don't play around Grace, who unfortunately is getting a chase.
Here's the pinch coming through. The root comes down, and he just gets decimated. Faker just annihilates him right there. Pops him out, finds another kill here for SKT as they continue to try to push this lead.
I mean, Ghost Flash is not enough for Malzahar to match Ryze in a side lane. That's what we're learning again and again. And if Jin keep playing like this, SKT will get another pick, and we'll get to the time where the death time is so long that a free Baron will come as well for SKT.
Well, you know what I think we might be looking at here, if you can correct me if I'm wrong, but I think we might be looking at our first Flame Horizon of the 2018 season, as Faker is nearly 100 ahead of Grace.
In Korea, for sure, there was a double Flame Horizon from Perks when he was popping off on Ryze yesterday.
I didn't get to watch the ULCS yet. I'll have to check out the VODs. Got a couple days off coming up, so I can finally catch up with that and watch the launch of the NALCS as well.
The Legends happening everywhere. Good news, the VODs are shorter. Best of 1 is hit, so...
Yeah, it's true. Doesn't take nearly as much time to pour through them. But also feels bad, best of 1.
It's still the best of 3, though, LPL 2, so plenty of games here. Short week, though, 4 days only in this week of LCK. Good news, though, to you LCK fans out there, is it's 6 days in a row next week. Got to find that time up somewhere, so... Yep, 6 days in a row. Whoever's casting that's going to have a lot of work to do.
I think I cast 1 of those days.
I think I cast 6 of those days. Including my birthday on Friday.
That's true.
But I got a birthday treat.
It is almost your birthday, and you still haven't decided what we're doing to celebrate that yet. So I'm waiting with bated breath to find out.
I'm going to be responsible because I worked the day before and the day after.
All right, so some delayed shenanigans, perhaps here, as that's not quite where you wanted that Bola to go. Makes it out with his life. Doesn't even have the flash to use if he needed it.
Wasn't the best look there for Omti.
You know, this really is the best use of Feels Birthday Man.
Feels Birthday Man. Looks so sad. Why does the emote look sad? That's the part I never understood.
Well, that's why. Well, I mean, aren't you pretty sad that you can't go have some shenanigans on your birthday?
It fits this scenario, but you think most birthday wishes were positive.
Maybe the frog has to work every day around his birthday every year.
I'll take it as a personal Pepe.
Hey.
Well, SKT, they basically played the game out exactly as they wanted to from the start. They were slowed down by how smart Jin's early game was, but now there's so much darkness on the map, Achilles. Feels like that active Nocturne ult at all times. They keep pushing up the vision. They keep clearing Jin's vision, and eventually that Baron buff's going to be safe enough to start.
See there, Faker taking a rotation of spells from Grace. Still really isn't enough to whittle him down, even with that Leander's Torment. Cloud Drake going through there for SKT. Even them up on objectives. Elder going to be the next one here. Realm Warp's coming through from Faker. He's going in aggressive. Gets the root down here in onto Umti. Abyssal Voyage comes through from the sidelines. Umti flashes to the side, but he's just getting devoured mid-charge. Spat back out, and bang, comes up with the kill. And SKT, if they wanted any further invitation to start up the Baron, I think getting rid of the enemy smite is pretty much all that they needed.
Didn't overinvest in ultimates. They still have Cataclysm up.
Faker's still going here. Gets the root down. They're onto Soon. Takes a heck of a lot of damage. Teddy again with this Caitlyn. Can pump out the damage pretty consistently.
More ability to turn onto Baron that time. Faker's going to go pick up his blue buff and back is my guess. He's rendering some map control even after turning the game into a 5v4.
Felt like that was going to be the commitment, but Jin Air, they're the ones who are starting to inch their way over, but be way too risky, it seems.
They definitely won't start it. It's not a realistic move there for Jin Air. But at least in their minds, they're like, okay, could have been worse.
They've done crazier things.
Jin Air's done a lot of things. I don't know if this is going to be a Gathering Storm game, but we are 32 minutes in. SKT in full control for about 10 of them. Items piling up for Faker. Now has the Void Staff. Seraph's basically only has the annoying QSS item slot that eventually he will replace with a Death Cap.
I hope he gets a Mercurial Scimitar. It'd be great.
We've seen it before.
Oh, yeah.
I think we saw Mercurial Scimitar Maokai. That was probably the pinnacle.
Yes, we certainly have.
When you couldn't get away without taking a QSS against Trundle.
I mean, I think we've seen it built up by many tanks during that era. So we probably had Nautilus in there at some point as well.
Kind of relieved we don't have Nautilus in the top lane meta right now. The Ornn and Nautilus do share a lot of traits. Immovable, both of them.
Yep.
Faker's, once again, is kind of playing a game as if he has his own basketball and doing whatever he wants. He was the one who set up the pick that got them the last kill of the game. Hanging around the sidelines. Was spotted in a couple of wards, so Jin Air pretty understanding of where he's at the moment. Pings from everyone. Nars bot lane. Someone does have teleport and will waddle down to the bot lane to answer.
Faker coming down the river is spotted out. Are they going to try to pinch him? Looks like the answer is going to be yes. He starts up that Scuttle Crab. Might have to go ahead and burn the flash over the wall. And the grasp is going to come through. Pops a QSS to keep himself alive.
I'd love to get a second summon. He's waiting for the top pinch.
Low. Yep, there it is. The Devour over the wall effort will take him out.
Doesn't mean he's completely out of the fight, though, so it's sort of a 5v4 here. Didn't have to invest both of their long cooldown ultimates.
Oh. Is he not paying attention? He's not paying attention. Wraith!
He got him!
Just orbital strikes Faker, who is busy shopping while he recalls.
There's going to be more. They're going to come in and take the inhibitor. Sorry, the outer turret here. The inner turret.
I can't believe it. I am like at a loss for words right there. Faker, what a rookie mistake from him to make on that recall. Wraith just takes him right out of the fight. I can't believe it.
He makes all the hard things look easy, and then he made the recall, the blue pill, look oh so difficult. Jin Air can't believe their luck. Wraith just assassinated his old teammate Faker with a redemption. No sniggering over there, Achilles. We still have a serious game happening here.
It's just one of the few things I didn't think I would see happen to Faker. Oh boy, well that was exciting. I just stared at it like I was watching a train crash. I didn't know what to say or do.
He might still win the MVP interview, so that's going to be a question I wonder if they have the balls to ask.
That would be a great one.
You died to redemption. How did you feel about it?
I don't want to talk about this. Oh boy. Well, here we go. Abyssal Voyage coming through as they try to get another pinch here onto Umpty. He's going to cut his way up towards the top side. Takes the blast going over the wall effort. Trying to chase him down, get into that tongue lash range. But the ultimate will lock him in. SKT clearing out the vision. Do they want to start this? The answer is going to be yes.
So one has to teleport early. He does now. It's good damage here. They're turned off already.
Yep. TP does get canceled out.
The Baron does heal up as well.
Realm Warp,
where's it going?
Apparently nowhere. Everyone backs out of it.
That was anticlimactic. Faker goes top lane. He's going to go pushing the minions. I think all of SKT's in a bit of a funk for a second. They're like, wait, what happened?
Damn redemption, man.
It's deadly. Ultra Infinity Edge already complete here for Teddy. I'm just going to find new adjectives to describe the buffed up Infinity Edge. I don't know the actual name.
Super Infinity Edge.
I called it that earlier. We've got Ultra and Super so far. We'll wait for the next one. Don't use them all, Killer. It's a long season. We have to make a patch not to look up the real name.
All right. Yep.
That's the first Ornn upgrade so far. Not like Smeb, who got an itchy trigger finger and like 3 minutes into the game had an upgraded item.
Here we go, Jin Air. They're starting this up. Faker taking the long way around. Banner comes down from Wolf to get the vision inside the pit. Trap line set up. TP now coming through.
Baron at 4,000.
Tara doesn't have any of that Narbar built up. He's going to get jumped on. The Devour comes through. Tries to get the bounce back. It's a double pop up there.
Baron's still leashed.
Yeah, Faker going in big. Tries to get some damage down. Grace goes low. Cataclysm out from Wolf. And that is going to be the kill. One final auto attack gets rid of the Malzahar. Now Baron healing up on the backside. Wolf drawing everyone's attention. Teddy will finish him off. Faker going low. The Baron nearly killing him as Tara goes mega. Gets the stun in onto the wall. Trying to finish off Wraith. Trying to finish off Umpty. Anything that they can get. The crit finally comes through from Bang. Throwing that last little auto attack. Kills him off, gets rid of the smite, but it's just so dangerously low on several members that SKT have to peel back. They cannot re-engage the Baron, at least at the moment. And this could take a while, so why don't you take it over, Pop?
They'll eventually kill So1, who's got another ult, because that's just how Ornn rolls. He will die eventually. Let's see if they turn back onto the Baron, even with Wolf dead. Definitely a degree of risk to that. The call is to take Baron.
They're doing it, so yeah, gonna be...
Ryze can swap into teleport. Swap the ghost to teleport and be there. So it could be a 4v2.
The Teddy are here.
He does it. Okay, teleport coming in.
Yep, TP from Faker. It's gonna have to be them cutting back. Another transformation from Montara. Misses the wall up. Doesn't quite have the ultimate available. We'll just go ahead, get Wraith. Teddy gonna be alive here for the moment as Bang just goes ahead, pops that shield. Beats up the ace in the hole. And this should be SKT finishing off the Baron. Finally here, 38 minutes in, they will take it out. Right as Wolf rejoins.
I think it's best to wait for the replay to talk about the way that Jin Air misplayed. That was actually a pretty significant misplay, as they did not have one idea of what to do in the fight. That was a sort of area where you could see there was frantic shot calling, as and the rest of his team had different objectives by the time SKT was able to force a fight. We'll talk about the end result now, which is Baron over to the side of SKT. Means that Caitlyn no longer has the non-committal wave clear, and Malzahar no longer can clear with any reliability. They're actually just going to turn it into the double buff. Starting up the Elder.
The Elder there, throw down the control ward to deny the vision away, and Jin Air, just 3 members on the top side of the map, they cannot respond to this, so they're going to just try to have to turtle up and keep their way through the onslaught that's coming to them. SKT Realm warping in will finish off this tier 1 turret in the bot lane, finally, bringing them to 3-3 yet again, getting rid of all those outer turrets, and yeah, this bot 1 likely going to fall very swiftly as Jin Air is late to rotate.
They're so powerful at this point that
they're
SKT...
just getting ready for the inhibitor.
Exactly. They're not worried about traps either. I think they're going to start pushing up here. Our SK Telecom T1. Because the minion wave in top and mid is so far away, it means that if they just waste all their time with the Baron here, it might actually be better to recall because you have 2 minutes of uptime than try to overforce with no lane control. And it seems like Bang agrees because he's going to rush top side. To take back what I said, because their minion wave in mid and top was so far away, it wasn't worth 2 minutes of Baron buff, just trying to tunnel down bot lane.
Trying to get those waves moving, get the recalls off, spend some of this gold these guys just picked up.
3,500 gold lead for Faker, who, like I mentioned,
so close.
He sold that QSS, bought the death cap. Probably wishes there was an Ornn on his team to allow him to spend the rest of his gold, but it's just going to be sorcery elixirs from here for Faker.
10 CS away from the Flame Horizon here. 11-7 in the lead is SKT in kills. Gold stretching it nearly to 7,000.
Say in the early game, the difference in the game was between the two junglers. T outclassing Wolf, but Faker's done Faker things, and now he is, of course, the big reason that SKT are way ahead here. I feel like the next Realm Warp will probably decide the game. Lane assignments can never be ideal at this point. Now our side pushing with Elder Dragon and Baron buff in the bot side, or unable to tank up minions, so not getting huge advantage, but still being able to push up. Blue buff over to Faker. All the ducks are in a row for SKT, but just like we found out in our previous series, that doesn't necessarily mean the game will end in the blink of an eye. So there's a lot of delay available here for Jin Air.
Yeah. As far as going to the 59-minute mark, don't think we're going to quite hit that, but 41 minutes, still going to be a decently long game here. As we see the Abyssal Voyage coming into the mid lane, SKT making quick work of that second inner turret here.
Remember, they have another one of those. They also have the Realm Warp.
Oh, the Forge God coming through. They get the pop-up in, only onto the Gnar, right as he gets the transformation. Stun from the Sejuani as well, just to lock up Untara. He takes a little bit of damage, but overall, it's going to be pretty healthy to stick around in the fight. You can see the ticking coming through. 127, 126 HP rolling in, so he is perfectly fine. Rotation up to the top side of the map. We'll just eliminate that turret as well. SKT just giving Jin Air the runaround.
I mean, you play two lanes so powerfully if you have Ryze and Tahm Kench, because you have two members in one. They can rotate through, one of them being the Tahm Kench, and you have the Realm Warp to counter-rotate as well. Just getting all of the inner turrets. Now only the inhibitor turrets remaining for the side of Jin Air. Game will probably have to stall out till the next Baron, just because SKT don't really have the need to overforce under a turret. They have pretty much the sewn-up guaranteed win if they can get another Baron and act on it from there, especially if it draws Jin Air out for a fight that they may not be able to take any longer into the game. So things still very comfortable for SKT, and yet we're still not 100% sure what the endgame clock will read.
Well, got to give props to Teddy and Bang here for their CS. 550 plus on both of them. 43 minutes into this game. 6 items there going through for both, as Bang, I believe, just swapped out for the Ninja Tabi instead of the attack speed boots. Circuit Greaves, not really what he wants. Just wants to take that reduced damage from Teddy as they go later into this game.
A full zoom in on Faker, showing the people what they wanted to see. We're going to see a rotation, they're going to look for Teddy. Oh,
Can't quite get him.
That was lucky.
Off by about a full second and a half there.
If it's been better this game, a couple of deaths early, but that was also Tom Kench when he gave over deaths in his last series, but a bit more on point here with the Devourers. Unfortunately for Teddy, who has another kind of free farm game, you'll notice he's 6-item, no boots again. He's going to remember that feel from Jin Air's game a couple of days ago. He was off on his positioning in team fights, we should mention as the Vayne. He needed to do better, and Ambition was able to tie him up. There's such a strong front line he's facing, the Tom Kench. Even the Rise in his face is going to be very difficult for him to puncture through, even at 6.5 items, 7 items, depending on how you want to call the Ornn upgraded Infinity Edge. Grace has just not got a foothold.
Oh, Faker playing forward, but they have the jump on him. They're going to go ahead and lock him up. The Devourer's there from Everton, trying to keep him alive, at least for the moment. Call the Forge God, going to be bounced back in, knocks him up yet again. Faker going low, gets the shield in the back. Will stay alive here as he retreats, and it seems like everyone's just going to go their separate ways.
Does mean that Faker's going to be out of the fight for at least a little bit. They're probably not going to need to teleport. Can just go straight with the home guards to the mid lane. It's not long enough for Jin Air to actually have a man advantage and get significant turret damage, though. They're going to get a little bit. There's one poke, there's two. All right, Faker's actually going around the side. I think SKT want to come in.
I mean, they used a lot of their catch mechanics there onto Faker. The ultimate available for Empty here for a while. Another grasp used here onto Effort as they try to burn down Wolf. The Devourer keeps him alive for a little bit longer yet again. Effort just playing to sustain the lives of SKT members. Wow. That's going to be the inhibitor going down. Jin Air able to force that out.
There's so much value from just the ult onto Faker. DPSing Faker out was enough to get them an inhibitor. Kind of the reality when your wave clear is Rise and Sivir needs to walk up into threat range to actually wave clear means that it was too easy for the side of Jin Air. Just one Unbreakable stops a Boomerang Blade and the minions register, so does the inhibitor. So very much against the run of play. Consider how the last 25 minutes has been. The first inhibitor of the game actually goes to Jin Air.
Yeah, SKT now hovering around here. Baron has respawned Jin Air. They know that they can't go back. They can't answer that massive wave that's built up in the bottom lane. The pings are coming through, but they have to be so worried about this. They're pushing in. Jump coming through, looking for the hit. Flag and Drag not going to catch anybody. Glacial Fisher comes down. Does pop up bang. Barra comes through. He'll stay alive as they start retreating. So on completing the TP. Has the Call to Forge God coming through. Knocks them all up. Wolf goes in. Doesn't have the catch up yet, and that's going to be a massive stun coming through on Tara. Right up in the front line, jumping straight in on top of Teddy, trying to get the kill. Wallop comes down. Wolf with a double kill. The Devourer, Faker picking up the kill onto one. Bang! Onto the other. The bot lane destroyed, and it's only Soan left retreating from the fight.
Ontara,
all the way
a
out.
monster, a second time Achilles. Saw Teddy walk up for an auto. Ontara jumps in, hits 3 of them into the wall.
That's game. That's it.
Game.
Right off the back of that fight, 46 minutes on the clock. Baron be damned, SKT doesn't want it, doesn't need it. They crush out 4 members of Jin Air, the TP there from Antara to set up the crumbling of Jin Air's base. They will go ahead and knock down this Nexus. Another hard-fought victory here for SKT, much like we saw from MVP versus KT earlier on today. But they get the win here in Game 1, Papa Smithy. But the question is now, does Game 2 get any easier?
Few mistakes from SKT, but I take your point. It was still a bit toiling for them to close out this game. Like you say, 45+ minutes. They just lost their inhibitor. But Untara giveth, Untara taketh away. This time, this man was giving his team a lot. He put his team on his back with 2 massive uses of the Gnar ultimate in the game. One to secure a fight around Drake. This one to secure